Good night. Good night. And hope you enjoyed the last video. Truck's cleaned. That didn't take too long to get cleaned. There's all types of stuff that was in here. Oh shit, there's still some stuff in there. I missed a couple spots, but good enough. So no dents, no problems, anything like that. In fact, so I don't wash my car like at all. Maybe like, I guess if I was to go back on that statement, I wash my car maybe 2 times a year. No, once or twice a year, maybe. But yeah, anyways, we're going on a walk because I gotta exercise. I gained freaking 13 pounds back, man. But I got sick a couple times, and when I get sick, I just eat whatever the hell I want. So, back at it like a crack addict. So, this will be a mindset video. Essentially, this whole thing today, I sent that video to so many people. It was not even funny. So many people. It'll be dark from here on in, really. But I sent it to my nephew and talked to him. He was like, man, I would have fired off and did all this other stuff. My nephew's in the Army, by the way. And he's like, you know, he's young. So I told him, man, you know, he's going to actually get deployed out to Kosovo, too, pretty soon. He said. But I told him, you know, hey, discipline, man. He's like, discipline is tough, man. And I was like, no, acting with no control, or acting uncontrolled and acting in chaos is even tougher than discipline. Discipline is easy. Being able to say, no, I won't do this, for me, in a sense, is easy in some of the things that I do. I can't say all the time with like finances and, you know, buying certain things that I want or whatever. But for the most part, I've done pretty well with that and been able to save and do other things. So discipline for me has always been pretty easy, considering. With my nephew, I told him I could have, like, the way I have it in my car is that my 45 is probably like right there in the door container. So all I had to do was pull it and be like, yo, listen, man, I'm not playing with you. And then I would have added a whole nother element to the whole thing. And that was really an afterthought. That wasn't something that I was going to do or even thinking about during the time. The only thing I wanted to shoot her with is this damn camera phone. And that's about it. So I didn't even think about that throughout the whole ordeal. But you do have to understand, like, when you're put in that position, let me tell you what happened before the video. But, you know, to finish my point, so when you're put in that position, just walk away. Leave it alone. De-escalate. Let it happen in some cases. Pay your repentance. Or make repentance, if you will. Pay your penance. And just, you know, hey, listen, man. You fuck with the wrong one. Alright, keep it going. So, what happened before is, you leave this restaurant. I don't really think of this shit as no date. She had said, I was like, we just went on a date. Are you serious? And she got super mad. You can see, like, the evil take over her. Shit was crazy. When I saw that shit, I was just like, oh, God. This is dumb. So, I pay for the food. We're not talking anything crazy. It's like sushi in a Thai place. Some pad Thai noodles. So, I pay for the food. We come outside. She had already kind of like asked for gas money, and I just kind of blew it off because I had money from the night before, because I had been tricking the night before. I had some money on me. So pay for the food with the card. We walk outside, and then she asked again. She was like, oh, can I ask a favor? And I was like, oh God, really? And she was like, oh yeah. It's like, can I get gas money? And I'm like, no. It's like, no, I'm not giving you gas money. I just paid for the food and everything. Like, but, you know, we was just on a date and everything. And I looked at it, I was like, a date? I mean, you know, this is not a date. This is me and you chilling. Like, we talking and shit like that. Like, it's no fucking date. Mind you, never talked any type of money with this girl in terms of paying her for her coming up. as if she's some type of escort or what have you. No, I was like, oh, we was talking the night before, or really in the wee hours of the morning, yesterday, because now it's the 15th for me. And we was just talking, and I was like, yeah, you know, I know this sushi place over here. She was talking about how she's from California and all this other stuff. And she's like, oh, you're very nice and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So then I'm thinking like, all right, cool. We just like gonna go out and chill. Like every so often, I do want to talk with a woman. I'm not gonna lie, you know. So I go, like, we go out, and she thinks this shit's a whole fucking date. And I'm like, this is no fucking date. You're dressed right before you're gonna fucking go off to work. Like, I can see your fucking panties anytime you sit down. You ain't even dressed fucking nice. You dressed in regular fucking day attire. And this motherfucker took forever to come out there. Like, in fact, I purposely left work late. Like, I told her, yeah, I'll leave at 2. Man, she didn't show up until like 3 something. I think, excuse me, at one point, I think I started falling asleep in my car. And I think I was waiting for like 15 minutes. I started falling asleep in my car, and I was like, oh man, fuck this. And I was about to go back to work, but I was like, no, fuck that. So I went ahead and went inside and ate. So this chick was late with that shit. She was late and everything, right? So all this is going through my head while she's asking for $20, and I'm like, or asking for gas money. And I know I got $80 on me in cash. She knows it because she saw my wallet from earlier. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm not giving you that. You're crazy. Like, one, I'm not giving you that because it's like, you know, this, I'm not paying for you to come and eat with me. Like, that's just crazy. I'm not doing that. Like, I have some simp tendencies. I have some pookie tendencies. But motherfucker, I ain't doing all that shit. That's fucking bullshit. You crazy. So she gets mad. Like, you can see her face drop. She's like, that's fucked up. I can't believe it. Right? And then when I started to see like that little spark of evil, that demon come out, that darkness consume her, I said, man, you know what? Nah. Like, I'm not going to try and rationalize it to her. I'm not trying to do all this back and forth talking, yipping and yapping, saying, oh, I don't think you should get it, so on and so forth. I'm not even going to give her the option of me giving in. Back in the day, I would do these things. I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, here you go. Hey, can you call me later on tonight? Huh? Like, maybe we can hook up? You know, like, I would do stupid shit like that. Like, I've done that before. I have no problem fucking admitting that. I mean, now, with the place that I am, at one point I did have a problem admitting it, but now I have no problem admitting that shit. And it just shows that you have to change your mindset to deal with these women, because all they want from you is money. And when they don't get what they want, boom, the video. So first it started off, I was in my truck, and I felt something was going to happen. Because she's backed in, so that means she could come out quicker than me and all this other stuff. And I didn't want to get into this accident shit. So I literally had my car in park, and I waited. And sure as shit, this motherfucker pulls out, stops right behind my truck, so I could not move. I could not go forward either. And she starts going at it. I was like, holy shit. She comes out. She has the food. She was like, oh, do you want, like, you want this food? Like, I don't want your food anymore. And I know exactly what she's trying to do, because she wants to take that fucking food and put it in my face or some shit, or hit me with it, or try and do something physical to get some type of physical reaction out of me. And I'm like, I'm not falling for this shit. Like, I already know this fucking game, so I'm not dealing with it. So I was like, no, you can leave it on the floor. Like, you can leave it there. Don't worry about it. You're good. So I just told her, hey, listen, just leave that shit on the floor. No problem. Kind of want that shit right now too. I'm like, it was shrimp pad thai. I'm kind of hungry. Probably gonna go to IHOP after this. After I do this walk. That's probably not a good thing. Anyways, so she She's mad as fuck at this point because I'm not playing into it. She takes this shit, opens it up. She's like, you know what? Here's your fucking food. Bah! And puts it on the fucking thing. And I'm like, oh my God, these bitches love drama. These bitches love these fucking scenes from Power and all these other fucking shows. And I'm thinking to myself, I just like, wow, this is your woman in a sense, you know, like this is your black woman. And again, with that being said, this is a stripper. Like, this is what I talked to my nephew about discipline. I told him, you have to understand, her life is chaos and uncontrolled emotions. You could say that you would have fired off on her and got back at her physically. No, a man must always stay disciplined, calm, and in control. Because if I would have just gotten mad, right? Because essentially in Florida we have, of course, the castle doctrine, meaning like, you know, somebody can't come into your home and stuff like that, and you can defend yourself. Again, that's just glossing over it. Excuse me. And we also have stand your ground, which she knows because we talked about it. So in stand your ground, essentially, you can protect yourself from any threat or any reasonable threat, especially if you are cornered and you cannot escape said threat. So by her coming behind my truck, parking, so I can't leave that way. I can't go forward because there's like a big dune in front of me with bushes and stuff like that. My truck possibly could have gotten stuck. And then if I would have tried to get out, she would try to attack me. I could have taken my gun and, you know, let a gun do what it does. But really, that was an afterthought. I wasn't even mad. I was more mad on the way home from work because I went back to work after that and showed like my coworkers what happened. I went back to work after that and then finally went home. And once I went home, some guy cut me off. I was more mad about that guy cutting me off than this whole incident. You cannot be pressed, you cannot be bothered by the actions of these females, these fools, these maggles, these daggles, whatever you call them, the strags. You cannot be mad about it, especially with these women. It is what it is. Not to say, hey, listen, just let it happen. But I have to even take blame. I have to take responsibility in that myself and say, hey, you put yourself in this, Mike. This is who you chose to deal with. And this is what happened. It could have been cheaper and less stress for me just to give her $20, call it a day, and not answer her calls. That would have been a lot less stressful. Now I probably, you know, shouldn't go to the club. Shouldn't try to go to really any club because she goes to a couple, you know. And it's not to say, hey, listen, you know, oh, you're scared, blah, blah, blah. Motherfuckers is crazy. Plain and simple. What we saw in that video, or my last post, was the least she could do. If that's all that happened, no problem. As you saw the truck earlier, it washes away. That shit is water soluble. You rinse that sucker off, you go ahead with your day, and nobody even knows that it fucking happened. There's no dent in the car. There's no scratch in the paint. There's no you know, residue, much residue left. I can clean all that stuff out when I clean the car next year. You know, like, and it's like you really just have to laugh about these things. You have to be calm. You have to be cool. You have to be collected. This is the situation you put yourself in, so enjoy it. I put myself in that situation. I had to enjoy it. I videotaped it so you can enjoy it as well. She gets mad. And now she drives away after that, almost gets into like a little accident in the parking lot because, of course, she's mad. Now, a little bit about this chick from California. When she laughs, you can see that she's missing like 2 or 3 teeth. And I started laughing at her about it. And then we're talking. Turns out she got into a fight with her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend now that's out in California. And I guess he broke her shit. Now, my friend said, man, Mike, I thought you was fucking with trannies for a second. That motherfucker has such a man face. And yes, she does have a bit of a Serena Williams face. But god dang, if I showed you the picture of those titties, that ass was kind of nice too. I was, yeah, that was pretty nice. I should have just paid for the pussy and called it a day. Or just went there. But sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I trick for social entertainment too. Or social, like, just conversation and stuff like that. I'm not going to lie, I will trick for just talking. Not to say that I can't get that from anybody else or anything like that. But I call that tricking for talking. Because if I'm going out and paying for food and stuff like that so you can eat, to me, it's really no difference than, like, paying for, like, she's not a friend or anything like that. And if it wasn't for the food, bitch wouldn't be there anyway. So I consider that fucking tricking. I don't consider it a date, because to me a date is something you want to do with somebody long term. But again, that's a bit of semantics. I'm sure somebody would consider that a date. I just have to laugh about it, because if I did anything else other than laugh, how would it have turned out? What would have been the outcome of it all? Because I couldn't control myself. Because I didn't say, hey man, this doesn't make any sense. Let me just record it. Leave it alone. It's not that serious. I could go on and on about it. But really, this is a conversation that, I guess, or this is a talking point, or an example. There we go, better word. This is an example of you putting your mind or putting yourself in the wrong positions, but then getting yourself out of it by just staying calm. Excuse me. Not feeding into the dumb shit. Not feeding into the, oh, okay, well, all right, bitch, I got you. I see you. I'm going to do this to you. I know where she's at right now. I can go to the club and slash her shit and call it a fucking day. But then next you know, you get caught on camera. I always keep my blade on me. I always keep my 45 in my truck. I always got something. This is Florida. In Florida, you can literally have a freaking AR-15 in the back of your fucking window. Just sitting. And if the cops stop you, shit, it's not illegal to do so. To have it in your vehicle like that. And literally have it shown in the back window. They used to fucking do it. They just don't do it as much anymore. So, I guess, I have to look at things like SYSBM, MGTOW, SYSBM, Save Yourself, Black Man, and thinking about black men that are having these type of interactions with women, and then it turning into something like this, and them turning away from black women because of it. I've had stuff like this. This is the first time I've had this while tricking, to be honest. I've never had a girl do this to me. I know it's possible, of course, so that's why I laughed, so it wasn't a big deal at the moment. I was somewhat amazed by it too, so it was kind of like, this is great. This is epic, I should say, not great. That wasn't that awesome. So I don't think I've had it from girlfriends or anything like that. I've had them get mad and shit, but nothing crazy. So that was probably the craziest I've ever seen. But this is what happens, man. I guess the last thing to really say about this is a lot of women think they're entitled to what you have. Yeah, let's talk about that. Shit, 19 minutes in. I'm moving kind of slow with this. I apologize. I just had recalling the story. But a lot of women think that they own you, own what you have. So if they see you with something, they think they have stake to it, or they have claim to it. She saw that I had money left over from the night before, and she thought she had claim to it. Like she should have that. That, like, that, oh, okay, you have it, I should get it. And I have to look at things like Megan Thee Stallion. I have to look at artists like Megan Thee Stallion and the way they say, they think that even though, hey, listen, I make X amount of dollars, he should still pay for everything. How does that work? How does that work when Megan Thee Stallion or women like her do not act in the same, do not act in a classical manner, if you will, or a traditional manner? Hey, listen, I understand. If I provide for a woman, and that's, she has no job, no other source of income, I'm the one that's providing for her and even children. This makes sense. Hey, listen, man, you're my girl. You take care of me on this end. I make sure I take care of this end. And that's it. So, when you have women that you've only known for literally less than 24 hours, because that's the case, right now this will be the 24-hour mark. I have known that girl for 24 hours. Treasure, this stripper, I had only known her for 24 fucking hours. So when you know somebody only for about 24 hours, and they start to really think that they're entitled to what you have and what you've worked your ass off for, this is a serious problem. I don't even know this girl. Well, I know her middle name, but this girl doesn't even know my middle name. Doesn't even know my last name, which turns out to be a good thing. But when you look at all this, and it's just like, yo, you don't even know who I am. You don't even know anything about me. But somehow you feel that you're entitled to what I have. And that if I don't give it to you, you're going to cause some type of harm to myself or my possessions. Somehow you feel that to establish your dominance, if you will, you can come behind my vehicle, park your vehicle to block me, and then proceed to put things all over my vehicle. I'm talking, she put toothpaste, she put makeup, she put all these types of other creams. And of course, all of this because I didn't give her money for gas. I owed her that. She felt that that was her right. She should have gotten that. That it was my fault that I didn't give it to her. I caused all this. Okay, I'll take my responsibility for it. But you ain't get my money though. You're gonna waste your time. You're gonna get recorded. I'm gonna put you on the internet and put you out there for others to laugh at you and to laugh at me. Just to simply say, hey, listen, I don't owe you shit. And the only thing I owe you is what I fucking give you. Y'all have a nice one. Peace.